I brought along my calculator to today's game in case you need me to find the angle at which to hit the ball for maximum trajectory. By the way, according to my research in the area, the angle is around 30 degrees, which takes into account spin and the turbulence generated by the laces on the ball. Last weekend, I developed a relational database on my computer for filing all of my baseball card statistics. This allows me to perform a bit more analysis of the data, such as finding cumulative beta probability densities and calculating the kurtosis of a specific data set. At the moment, I am working on determining the Pearson product moment correlation coefficient for the Mariners catchers for the past 3 years as compared to the rest of the league. I'll let you know my results. Perhaps if the programmers of this game spent a bit more time developing the artificial intelligence and less time developing witty banter for me and the other children, you would be rewarded with a much richer gaming experience. My name is Dmitri Petrovich, and I like physics, chemistry, slot cars, baseball cards, and biscuits and gravy. According to my calculations, given my last season's batting average of .258, and after analyzing a 10-year study of the relationship between age and average, I should improve to .324 this season, allowing for chaos theory and the inherent uncertainty of a small sampling rate. My baseball card collection is the most extensive in the area, and I have every single one of them committed to memory using a simple mnemonic system. For instance, Wade Boggs batted .332 in 1991. .332 rhymes with free dirty glue, which makes me think of the paste at school, which I eat, but I eat French fries too, thus I remember French fries. Now, 91 rhymes with find the sun, which reminds me of a solar eclipse, which you can't look at or it will make you blind. Therefore, to remember Wade Boggs' batting average, I just need to remember blind French fries. Greetings and salutations. I am called Dmitri Petrovich, not paste, as the kids would have you believe, and I do not eat paste. I do not know where you might have heard such nonsense, but it's a falsehood, a salacious and slanderous allegation put forth by my detractors, lies I tell you. I must confess I am a bit of a statistics enthusiast. Nothing makes me happier than to find the mean, median, and standard deviation of a set of values. In fact, in my spare time, I am working with Jorge on a stock analyzing program which he will use to track market trends. I am writing the code in assembly language because I want to take my time and enjoy myself. If I wrote it in C or C++, it would not take long enough, you see, as I am quite proficient in both of those languages. It is a pity the same cannot be said about the programmers of this game. I suppose they hope a glossy exterior will hide the shoddy inner workings. The old bait and switch maneuver. Clever, really. Whilst writing an informal discourse on the history of Brazilian soccer, an interesting question presented itself. Why do some Brazilian players only have one name? After a bit of research, I discovered a simple answer. These single names are in fact nicknames for the athletes. For example, did you know that the athlete that we know as Pele is in fact named Edson Arantes do Nascimento? You must pardon my poor pronunciation, as Portuguese is a tongue in which I'm only moderately fluent. I have been looking into World Cup performance as of late, and I have committed many fascinating facts and figures to memory using a simple mnemonic system. For example, Diego Armando Maradona, the captain of the world champion Argentinian team in 1986, has had 8 goals in 21 World Cup appearances. Now, 8 is the number of powdered sugar donuts in a snack pack, which is my favorite after-school treat along with the requisite glass of chocolate milk. Now, 21 is the sum of cards needed to win in the card game. Blackjack. Blackjack rhymes with snack pack, which makes me think of powdered sugar donuts, and the glass of chocolate milk, which makes me think of 8, which I've already memorized. So, instead of thinking of the Blackjack Snack Pack Association, I think of another card game I like to play called Old Maid. Now, Old Maid reminds me of my dear old Aunt Bertha, who wears false teeth, which she keeps in a glass by her bed. Therefore, to remember Maradona's World Cup performance, I simply need to remember false teeth and a glass of chocolate milk. Reese is a nerd. You might like to know that in case you need to calculate anything, I've brought along my calculator. It's a scientific calculator, so if you are ever in need of any calculations of a scientific nature, do not hesitate to seek me out. Greetings, my name is Dmitri Petrovich. Kids at school call me Pace, don't ask. I see you're eyeing my new pocket protector. Yes, pretty keen, eh? It's a top-of-the-line RJM Type 41 model. It features state-of-the-art ink-resistant material, sleek aerodynamic wind-resistant modeling, and a built-in pager. I must admit I am a bit of a statistics aficionado, and as such I have committed a few fascinating football facts. Oh my, that was a clever bit of alliteration, wasn't it? I have committed a few fascinating football facts to memory using a simple mnemonic system. For example, the Dallas Cowboys won Super Bowl 30, beating the Pittsburgh Steelers by a score of 27-17, or a margin of victory of 10 points. Now, in monetary terms, 10 cents would be a dime, or, if you prefer, 2 nickels. Nickels rhymes with pickles, which I often enjoy, alongside my favorite tuna fish sandwich. I insist on my mother buying dolphin-safe tuna because I find dolphins to be incredibly complex and fascinating creatures with a high level of intelligence, like the television actor Flipper. Now, my cousin Philip has a fish, which he named Flipper, and I very much enjoy fish sticks, especially with tartar sauce. Now, getting back to the Cowboys, one could say that the Cowboys stole the game from the Steelers, which is another clever play on words, if I may say so. Now, cowboys who steal are called wrestlers, and wrestlers who get caught get thrown in the pokey, which is also the name of Gumby's horse brand. In conclusion, then, as I'm sure you see, to remember the result of Super Bowl 30, I simply need to remember Gumby tartar sauce. Mother thought it was foolish for me to want to play with these ruffians. You see, Mother doesn't understand that while football is a bit barbaric, it's also a complex game of strategy. Strategy mixed with big lumbering oafs running at full speed until they collide head-on with each other, resulting in massive bodily damage. Oh dear, perhaps Mother was right. I am quite pleased at the talent level of the other youngsters in the neighborhood. It's quite shocking, really, considering the abilities of this game's programmers. Despite the lines and lines of spaghetti code that lie beneath the surface, the artificial intelligence performs adequately. All right, I'll admit it, I've got a paste problem. Yes, I eat paste.
Greetings, I am Zoltar of the planet Nebatron. My birth name is Dmitri Petrovich. It's true that basketball can be a beautiful and graceful thing to behold, but I am drawn more to the intellectual side of the game. The intricately designed plays, the geometrical layout of the court, the guy who breakdances at halftime. I've got the strength of a power forward, the court savvy of a point guard, the strategic mind of a coach, and the body of a hot dog vendor. According to my computer, I have only an 8% chance of being kissed by a girl before I'm 40. Machines can be so cold. I've designed a new pair of sneakers that will add 8 to 12 feet to my vertical leap. I call them the DP79-S thermonuclear vertical enhancers. The only thing missing is the fuel required to power the shoe's core reactor. You wouldn't have 40 pounds of high-grade plutonium on you by chance, would you?
Greetings, comrade. I am Dmitri Petrovich. My mother said I have a hard time making friends because I scare people away with my vastly superior intellect. So I will do my best this year to fit in with my peers and speak in a manner that is appropriate for my age group. So, what is up with yourselves? Are you, digging the new popular music? How about that, new popular television show that, everyone is watching? Something about a dog? This is humiliating. I think I'd rather not have any friends. As you can see, I've got a new pair of RJ41 model unbreakable sports glasses. I had to replace the old ones. They broke. According to my latest calculations, I have a 97% chance of living in my mother's basement until I'm 40. Oh dear. Sometimes I like to get funky. You know, many people think that just because I'm a scientific genius that I must not have any fun. Not so, my comrade. Why, just last week, my chums and I went to the Star Warriors convention. We met First Lieutenant Zulu in person, and I scored a major coup by getting the autograph of the assistant makeup artist on the short-lived Star Warriors cooking show. It was quite a day, let me tell you. And we ate hot dogs and drank grape space soda as well. Yes, I am quite the wild man.
Greetings. My name is Dmitri Petrovich. Please don't let my intellectual proclivities dissuade you from putting me in a position to disrupt our opponent's defense with brutish force. By studying the aerodynamics of a football in flight, I have optimized my passing skills to take into account both ground effect and rising thermals. As such, I can throw the ball farther when the opposing team's jerseys consist primarily of the color black. It's true. Because football is a game of patterns and timing, I have designed an infallible database for my computer that can calculate the optimal response to any possible offensive or defensive play. Unfortunately, the computer's power cord is too short to be of any use on the field. But I am quite capable of engaging in droll waggery or a jovial prank from time to time. For example, I once visited an Italian restaurant with my family and suggested to the waiter that he be very careful in bringing us our order. Should the pasta touch the anti-pasta, our entire universe would be instantaneously destroyed. Boy, did he look worried. Greetings. I'm Dmitri Petrovich. Yes, that Dmitri Petrovich. I shall now tell a delightful anecdote. There are two nuclear physicists, and the first one says, I have a dog that has no nose. And the second physicist asks, how does it smell? And he replies, terrible. Amusing, isn't it? I have invented a glow-in-the-dark hockey puck. Unfortunately, the radiation causes anyone who uses it to become hideous radioactive monsters. Of course, with some hockey players, it's hard to tell the difference. I hope you can find room for me on your team, comrade. By picking me, I would increase the intelligence of your team by 238.4%. Give or take a point. My name is Dmitri, and I'm here to help your team achieve a higher numerical relevance in relation to the overall stats in this league, and, indeed, all of hockey. One must consider the relative difference between the gravitational pull of objects in the vastness of space to their continued movement away from each other. How did Einstein come to dismiss his own brilliant theory on dark matter? I will just never understand his hesitancy on that one point. I have done numerous tests related to the physical properties of the hockey stick and the so-called biscuit, and have found a perfect corner velocity for spinning the puck, curving it around the defenders. I am afraid I cannot tell you this magic number, as it would compromise all of hockey forever. There is little doubt that my interest in physics has led to this foray into hockey, where I am able to anticipate much of the game a period in advance. My name is Dmitri, and I'm here to help your team achieve a higher numerical relevance in relation to the overall stats in this league, and indeed all of football. One must consider the relative difference between the gravitational pull of objects in the vastness of space to their continued movement away from each other. How did Einstein come to dismiss his own brilliant theory on dark matter? I will just never understand his hesitancy on that point. I have done numerous tests related to the physical properties of the hockey stick and the so-called biscuit, and have found a perfect corner velocity for spinning the puck, curving it around the defenders. Unfortunately, that doesn't help my football game. There is little doubt that my interest in physics has led to this foray into football, where I am able to anticipate much of the game 5 plays in advance. I have a delightful joke for you, but it's in the intergalactic language of Esperanto. You do speak Esperanto, don't you? Oh, what a pity. Never mind. Mother said I spent too much time on the internet. I told her, the page you were looking for is currently unavailable. The website might be experiencing technical difficulties, or you may need to adjust your browser settings. Then she made me go outside. I have been told that I look quite handsome in my football gear. At least, that's what Mother says. Please don't let my intellectual proclivities dissuade you from putting me in a position to disrupt our opponent's defense with brutish force. Because football is a game of patterns and timing, I have designed an infallible database for my computer that can calculate the optimal response to any possible offensive or defensive play. Unfortunately, the computer's power cord is too short to be of any use on the field. By studying the aerodynamics of a football in flight, I have optimized my passing skills to take into account both ground effect and rising thermals. As such, I can throw the ball farther when the opposing team's jerseys consist primarily of the color black. It's true.